Candace Owens and conservative website The Daily Wire have officially broken up. Friday morning, The Daily Wire CEO Jeremy Boring posted on X, quote, "Daily Wire and Candace Owens have ended their relationship." He did not give a reason on the circumstances that led to this shift. But earlier this week, the Anti-Defamation League highlighted the fact that white supremacist Nick Fuentes applauded Owens' rhetoric on Jews. Owens has been outspoken in her commentary about Jewish people in politics, in the media, and her support for Palestine.
Regardless, based on her latest episode posted just yesterday, the news may have come as a surprise to Owens. Take a look.
I'm not going to go away. I'm going to use my God-given voice to talk about the things that are important for me. I'm just asking to be left alone, or at least just report the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, that is all the time that we have for today. But don't worry, because we will see you tomorrow for a brand new episode.
The controversial right-wing commentator took to her own X account, posting, quote, "The rumors are true. I'm finally free," end quote. There will be additional quote, "There will be many announcements in the weeks to come." Owens joined the Daily Wire back in 2021. So a little bit unclear about what's next for Owens here. Very obvious she's not with the Daily Wire anymore, and that whether it was a firing or they had a conversation this morning that ended in them deciding to end their relationship, all of the language makes it sound like they broke up and that it was a romantic relationship. They're going their separate ways, though. I was just saying yesterday to a friend that it might be the case that Ben Shapiro's keeping Candace Owens at the Daily Wire despite his pro-Israel views to show that even though there was reporting that was pro-Israel, hey, we had this other host at the Daily Wire that was saying something else. It seems that that's not a strategy at all at the Daily Wire, and who knows if it was their choice or Candace's choice, but curious to see what she does next.
Yeah, I mean, based on the fact that she said, "See you tomorrow," that definitely suggests that the Daily Wire pulled the trigger and fired her. I think, people who have been following some of the internal feuding at the Daily Wire probably are not super surprised by this. It's definitely the case that Ben Shapiro was very troubled by her views on the Israel-Palestine conflict. He is obviously one of the most pro-Israel voices in conservative media, and they've had public tension around what she's been saying on her show. There was one point a few months ago where I believe she was trying to get Ben Shapiro to convert to Christianity or something along those lines, and there was this huge argument over whether what she said was considered anti-Semitic, and really just things started to unravel from there. But I think Candace Owens is going to be fine. It looks like she has her own website that she's encouraging people to go to now. I wouldn't be surprised if she tries to do a show on X similar to what Tucker and Chris Cuomo are doing and Don Lemon attempted to do, and just go directly to the viewers. She is one of those sort of names that can definitely draw an audience on her own without the institutional backing. But it seems like it's going to come with probably a pretty significant pay cut. Based on the reporting from when she was hired, she was getting a pretty hefty salary from the Daily Wire, and she'll have to make up for that with subscriptions if that's the route that she decides to go and decides to be independent. But again, I'm not surprised by this at all. It seemed like this was brewing for quite some time.
It's very sad to see the state of American media with the unfolding of what's happened since October 7th, that we've seen the expectation that the American people as a monolith support Israel because Israel is an ally, and because the Jewish people have a brutal history, that any criticism of them fighting for having a state must be anti-Semitic. But to assume that a state represents people who are not its citizens is something that we've fought against as a country. We have fought for countries to not become ethno-states and instead, be democratic states. Is something we've used as a reason to go overseas and fight for people's freedom over. And we've called people religious extremists, the State Department themselves, for folks trying to establish a caliphate, an Islamic state. But to be fine with a Jewish state, it's not anti-Semitic to point out that that is hypocritical. And Candace Owens saying that she feels she's fired, or feels that she was under fire rather before she was fired, for telling the truth, and to make a statement like, I'm going to continue to tell the truth. People want to attack us for simply saying the truth. There are a lot of people who have reported basic facts about the situation in Gaza, things that have happened by the hands of Israel and the IDF, and they've been called anti-Semitic just for reporting what has happened. And so there's a solid point there. We've seen Mehdi Hassan leave MSNBC, and it's a scary moment where I think a lot of people are realizing just how powerful the American media is, but it's a bit mask off to be directly firing people that are doing the most reporting on Palestine.
Yeah, I agree. It is really unfortunate how anyone who criticizes Israel, it seems, is accused of anti-Semitism, and that's just point blank wrong. And it also seems hypocritical coming from the Daily Wire, which has really prided itself on being this anti-cancel culture, pro-free speech outlet. Back a few months ago, when they were having these public feuds between Candace and Ben, the Daily Wire CEO, Jeremy Boring, put out a statement saying that they would not fire her because they don't regulate the speech of their hosts, even when they disagree with them, saying, quote, Candace is paid to give her opinion, not mine or Ben's. Unless those opinions run afoul of the law or she violates the terms of her contract in some way, her job is secure and she is welcome at Daily Wire. So I don't know what changed since then. As far as I know, she hasn't been changing the content that she puts out on her show. Maybe they just finally got fed up, but certainly seems inconsistent with what they've said in the past about valuing free speech. That's going to do it for us this week on Rising. Jess, it was great to be back with you today.
It was great to reunite for another Rising Friday.
And we'll be back next Friday as well. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss any content. And for those of you who like to listen while on the go, we are now available anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Bye, y'all.